Hello everyone, welcome to a new video of the Indicator Store, and this is going to be a short video part of the markers tutorials. We are going to cover how to filter two signals. Okay, let's say that we have two indicators. As usual, we have one signal indicator and one filter. For example, let's say that my filter is the slope of this line. Okay, this is an HMA, but it can be anything. And we can have signals from the open close with random settings, or the Woody's trend, okay, or the last indicator, the ADX BMA. And the fastest option of the signals are creating a lot of counter trend signals, for example, these shorts here. And if we add something slow, for example, the slope of this moving average, and we can make it even slower, maybe 100. So the slope is always positive, so we should be only looking for longs. And if we make this faster, for example 50, then here, for example, we are looking for a short, not these two longs. Now we have two options to do this on markers. Option number one is to copy the signals as usual and then filter with markers. Example, let's say I want to automate the ADX, no, these signals, and this indicator has the plots long and short. So as usual, we need to copy those plots, longs and short, as fast signals. Let me show you. You add a markers copy, for example, for my long signal, or any name, my long, for example. And this is going to be a fast signal, not a line. This is a line, this is a signal, because it is present only on some of the bars, not always. So I want it as a fast signal. A fast signal can trigger markers to execute an order with this name. Inside input series, I need to place this indicator with the same parameters. This is an ADX BMA with the maximum settings, maximum sensibility, minimum period. It can be faster than this, 250. So on the copy, I choose the indicator ADX BMA with 250. It doesn't matter if I paint the bars or not, because I am just copying the values. And the line I want to copy are the long plots, not the line, the plots. Okay, if I click on apply, then we can get a small dot. We can make it bigger, so we are sure that what we copy, it is visible, the one dot, but we can make it bigger, so we are sure that what we copy is what we want. All those dots are the copies. And now we can create a duplicate of this, or just add another markers copy, but it is easier to select, right click, copy, and select, clicking anywhere, right click, paste. Now I have two copies with the same name. You can see that I don't have an error here, because fast signals can be duplicated. Variables, no. So I have two markers copy creating the same name. If, for example, I copy as a line instead as a a fast signal, when I click on apply, I get the error that you cannot use the same variable twice. Okay, but I want them as fast signals, but with a different name. This is my short. And also it is a different plot. Instead of long, short, those triangles. And instead of drawing a blue dot, let's paint a red dot. Okay. And now we can see we get the dots. Something very important, the indicator, the original indicator, is no longer needed. Even we can remove the indicator. What we need are the copies, because now markers, when I add markers, I set fast signal mode and I type the name, my long, my short, and that's all. I only need copy for longs, copy for shorts, and markers. This indicator is optional. The original indicator is optional. Usually signal indicators paint a line or paint the background sometimes, but it is important to understand that the useful indicator is the copied indicator. Even more, if you have different settings on the real indicator, on this one, maybe if you have 5 and 0.5, the signals are different. So we can see that we have different signals. Even more, I don't have signals at all. Let me move the line to the bottom here and replace the parameters. For example, 0. Okay, and now we have signals, but those signals are different from those dots. Here, for example, I have 1 that it is not present. So be careful when you copy a signal indicator. If you leave the original indicator overlapping the copied version, try to make the parameters to match, or just remove the original indicator. We can just remove it because we have the copies. Now, marker, this is the method number 1. Markers is going to execute all the signals, all of them, but I can filter. And I can filter taking into account something else. For example, the slope of this line, just as an example. Or I can use, there are indicators that show a trend, maybe this one. This is the open close plus. The open close plus has a plot with a trend, so we can use this as a filter. But anyway, we can use anything as a filter. Let's say I want to use this HMA as a filter. So I need to copy the HMA. So another markers copy, HMA, or filter, filter. And inside input series, I place the same HMA. Again, it must match the current period of the HMA 50. Okay, and okay. So now we can see that we have the original and the copied. Same as before. This is for visual, and I can remove it because the important is what I have copied. I can make it like a line, for example, just to follow the same colors, make it magenta, instead of dots, a line, thick enough. We have exactly the same as before, but now this is a markers copy. Now, I can execute on markers only those signals in agreement with the slope of the line. The slope of the line is filter on the current bar minus filter 1 bar ago. So on markers, I can enable the filter, and the conditions for long is that filter on the current bar is greater than filter 1 bar ago. So the line is going to the upside. And for the shorts, the opposite, less. Okay. Now the result of the filter is waiting for incoming tick. Today is holiday. There is no data incoming. So, but when the market is moving, we can see here if longs are enabled. Currently, it is going down, so only shorts should be enabled. The good feature of this method is that we can enable or disable the filter. So we can trade all the signals or only those in agreement with the slope. Which is the bad part, that we are looking at all the signals, and sometimes this is upsetting, or it is making too much noise. So there is another method, and for that we need to copy now the signals as variables, not as fast signals. Okay, so let's replace my short now is a variable and my long is a variable. Okay, and let's make those really small so they are not so visible, so we can understand what we are going to do. Let's make just a little dot, 1. The same for this, 1. So now I don't have fast signals. I only have variables. I have this, the shorts, the longs, and the HMA, the filter. For the signals, they have a value here. You can see copy is equal to 3934.50, but at the following bar, the result is non-available. There is no plot painted anywhere. So now we can create a logic, and the logic is going to create the fast signal. And the logic is, first, I have a long signal. So the name of the variable is my long and my short. Okay, so my long is different to 0. And just for checking, click on apply to see if it works, and we can see that it is detecting when it is not equal to 0. Not equal to 0 means it has a value, and the value is where the dot is painted. I don't care where it is painted. I am only interested in knowing that it has a value. So I can add more conditions. For example, that the line is sloping in my preferred direction. So end filter on the current bar is greater than filter 1 bar ago. And now this is no longer painted because the line is sloping down. Only the signals in agreement are painted. So now that I am okay with those signals, I can make this logic to paint a different signal. Currently it is painting the background, but we can choose different type of signal. My preferred signals is to paint the background, but you can choose any one. But you need to create a fast signal. Okay. For example, go long. The default, go long. And also we can paint the histogram in blue. This histogram, like this. And now we can copy and paste. Select, right click, copy, and select, right click, paste. Now I have 2 markers logic creating exactly the same. There is no error because we are not creating variables, we are just creating fast signals. Now let's convert the second logic into shorts. So instead of green, red, and those background colors. The logic is the other plot, my short is not equal 0, and the filter is, the line is going in the other direction. Currently it is below filter 1. Okay. The name for the fast signal is go short. And finally, the color of the histogram is red. Okay. And now I can place both together so they are not using so much space. But now I need to fix this because markers is looking for my long. My long now is a variable, not a fast signal. I am creating go short and go long. So no problem, I go to markers. And replace this by go long, go short. Okay, so now markers is looking for go long and go short, and the two markers logics are creating go long and go short. And here we can see that the copy of the signals, not all of them has a signal. The only problem is now I don't have control of the filter. I cannot enable or disable the filter, but the chart is clearer. It is more clear. If I don't like to see those dots, no problem. In the copy, we have the option to avoid showing the copied here. Show the copied line or no. Never change this to transparent, because changing the line to transparent is like turning off the indicator, or visible. Making this to invisible is the same, is turning off the indicator. If you don't want to show these dots, use the option for that. Do not show the copied lines, fast signal, whatever. And now the dots are not visible. Okay, hope this video has been useful for you. If you have any question or comment, please contact me on the chat room. Thank you everyone. Bye bye.